So Matt Gaetz may have gotten himself into even hotter water than he was in before because he essentially accidentally admitted guilt in the charges that he's facing. That all of the things that he's being accused of in light of the Joel Greenberg plea deal, he may have, if only unintentionally, admitted guilt. Watch this clip.
As naughty favors.
Yeah.
And then when he starts to deflect and talk about earmarks, that's the equivalent of, but her emails, right? That's Matt Gaetz announcing, sure, you may have caught me doing all sorts of stuff wrong, but you know what? Congress does stuff wrong all the time, including earmarks. That could frankly be turned on its head and viewed as an admission of guilt. But we'll have to see how the prosecutors choose to play that, because it looks like, based on the Greenberg plea agreement, which is something I never saw in my 30 years as a prosecutor, I think the prosecutors are going to have sort of an embarrassment of riches when it comes to criminal conduct of others.
And so that's on MSNBC. That's a former prosecutor, a 30-year veteran of being a prosecutor, saying that Matt Gaetz was trying to effectively compare the very serious things he's accused of to political earmarking. Now, here's the quote from Gaetz, basically saying, I got some naughty favors, I guess maybe, but you know, Congress, they're doing political earmarks, so they're the real scumbags. And so what Gaetz is trying to do is essentially compare how he bought the companionship of women, which is not legal, including potentially the companionship of a 17-year-old, vintage 99, we've been talking about it. He's comparing that to the practice of political earmarking. Now, you may have an objection to earmarking, which is essentially the process by which you take a political bill and then you add little things to it, which may add more money to a district. You might call it a form of political bribery, but you might also call it the things that need to get done to get legislation passed in Washington. You might find it distasteful, but it's not criminal scumbaggery like Matt Gaetz is being accused of. And so Gaetz is effectively saying, I'm not guilty, but if I was guilty, I'm less guilty than Congress is of being criminals. It's really, really disgusting, isn't it, folks? Matt Gaetz is sort of trying to have it both ways. He's trying to say, oh, I'm falsely accused, but even if I did it, which I didn't, wink, 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 then, like, of course, it wouldn't be as bad as what the Democrats are doing. And we all see through it. We see through Matt Gaetz trying to make his very personal crimes, his very personal demons, his very personal evil into a matter of politics because he feels that's the way he can protect himself. So it's not just that he did awful things to women, if not girls, but also that it's part of this grand conspiracy that he's being targeted. It's why he's teaming up with Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's why he went on the Newsmax and said, oh, you know, they only target the strong. They don't target weak conservatives. They only target strong people like me and Trump and Rudy Giuliani and whatever. Like, we're all seeing through it. We're all seeing through the deception. Matt Gaetz got caught out for a brief moment, basically saying, yeah, I did awful things, but what of it? The Democrats are worst, but that's not going to play well in court. Matt Gaetz, you caught yourself in your own lie, and I hope you go down for it.